Hello, and welcome to the Metalheads podcast. My name is George.
This is Buke.
And this is Jay.
And we are here with another episode for you.
I'm going to say this. This is a windscreen less, because I just listened to the podcast, our Death Fest podcast, George.
Yeah.
I like the little bit you put in at the start.
The three things I learned at Death Fest.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had just intended to say something about it, just sort of a quick note going, hey, sorry about the wind noise. And I thought of three things that I wanted to say, and it's like, hey, I'll just make it a little top three thing and see how that comes out. And
Thanks for the shout out too.
of course.
I was there in spirit. I'll come next year.
Certainly were.
Yeah, I was. I really was. I hope the lineup is as good next year, and there's an excuse for us all to be there.
Yeah, I saw they released the dates already, but it probably,
did they?
Yeah, it's next, the next Memorial Day weekend, I'm assuming.
Okay.
I expect it'll be quite a while yet before they start announcing bands, though, at least until fall.
Yeah, probably so, yeah.
That seems when it was last time.
George, you want to give a little mention that you and I are not in the studio today. All of us are on Skype. We're trying something different because let's just maybe give a little warning to people as the summer ramps up and each of us take vacations or go to weddings and stuff. We may be doing this from time to time. So this is kind of like kicking the tires.
Yep, we wanted to get something done, but there just wasn't time to do a full regular episode, though. The script is pretty damn full, so we'll see how long it runs. But we don't have a band or anything this week, so it's just going to be a lot of us talking.
And but a lot of recommendations to run with it.
And there's a lot of cool stuff to talk about this week, though. That's the other thing, is that it's all good stuff too.
Yeah. All right. Well, why don't we just go ahead and jump right into the news? Buke, you want to hit this first one? Yeah,
I was on Twitter the other day, and Eddie Trunk put out a tweet that the lead singer of Heaven had passed away. Alan Fryer. I can't say I've heard much of Heaven. They released Twilight of Mischief in '82 and Where the Angels Fear to Tread in '83, Knocking on Heaven's Door in '85. It looks like the only things they put out. I don't know anything about these guys, but Eddie Trunk said that expressed his sadness that he started working with this guy when he first started doing radio. So
I've heard of the band, but I've never. I mean, if I've heard them, I don't remember it. It would have been a long time ago. Yeah,
me either. But I think you were saying he was a friend of his too, right? I mean,
yeah, that's what he was saying. He was more of a friend of his.
Yeah, sorry to hear that.
As a musician, but yeah, when we lose anybody in the music world, it affects us all.
Yep.
Yeah. So very much worth noting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, too bad. It's funny because I kept thinking of that band Angel, which I don't really know either, but people sort of talk about with reverence. I think they actually just did a reunion thing too.
I was thinking the same thing. I kept thinking Angel.
Yeah. So, well, sorry to hear it. Was he? Do you remember how old he was or anything?
It doesn't say, but he had a long battle of cancer that he fought.
Right on. Okay.
Doesn't say.
Right on. I just threw out a George right on. Shoot. I'm picking up George's. Damn it! Turn it into George.
But they were formed. Look in here. Heaven was formed in 1980 in Sydney. George, right off the top of your bat, does any other Australian bands come to mind?
AC/DC?
Oh, of course. Other than that.
So I saw an article the other day about Spotify and how apparently, based on the numbers they've been tracking, they say that metal fans are the most loyal. Who here was surprised about that?
Yeah.
No one.
Well, it says a lot, too. There's a couple things I want to say about that. One is, of course, obsessive. But second is, people are really still trying to figure out how to make money from that. You know what I mean? That's the new sales thing. That's how you get money now instead of just selling records. And we actually have we do our stuff through something called DistroKid. That's where we get money from iTunes, from everything. Mm-hmm. And I did get 23 cents from Spotify.
Yeah, Spotify doesn't play shit. That actually means you probably got like 1 million listens.
But that's what I'm wondering. I would love to know that.
Because they don't pay well at all, and that's why people like Taylor Swift go and take all their music off, because they can get millions of listens and they'll make like $5.
She did, huh?
Yeah, she removed her music. That's why they reference her in the article.
Are there some other notables that have done that?
Yeah.
I think I've heard bits and pieces.
But there is a lot of like fairly obscure metal on Spotify, which is unusual.
You guys both use it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do
All
too.
the time.
I use Tidal more now, but I still have it in reserve.
Yeah,
I may cancel it soon just because it's kind of redundant.
right on.
I have Spotify. It's one of those things that when George says, like on the fly, "Hey Buke, check out this band," and I'm, at work or something like that. It's a great way to check it out there.
Yeah, that's what I do too.
Easiest, fastest way. Yeah, and usually everything is up too. That's the other thing. If they've got a lot of stuff, I like it for that. Yeah.
So it was interesting how they did this story. They looked at a couple of the top bands, and I was trying to understand, George, was it total plays by like full album plays by metal bands? Was it tracks played by one person?
I would guess it was just like metal tracks played. I mean, nobody listens to albums. I'm sure, metal people probably do more so than other people, but given that the majority of music listeners on a whole do not, that's probably not a statistic that they're checking.
They seem to be, and they seem to be kind of going with the whole loyalty factor there. And I was wondering, I didn't understand it either a little bit. I was trying to figure out if they meant like, Slayer fans have every single Slayer thing on their Spotify. You know what I mean? Like that kind of thing too. I don't know. I'll have to go back and read that a little.
This is what Spotify said. According to Spotify, Spotify gathered this data by identifying the core artists central to each genre, then divided the number of stream each core artist had by their number of listeners.
Okay, sure. So it could be, people are repeat listening to stuff too or whatever, but yeah, just basically most plays. Either way, we win.
Yeah, ultimately, it's what we already knew, that metal fans are the best.
I should say this too. I sent a message out to George last week. It's not open to everybody yet, but Spotify is going to start expanding out to do podcasts.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I saw you say something. That's awesome, which of course we will.
Which would be cool if eventually if you could type in metal podcast and we could be on a list. That's awesome. Great exposure.
Yeah.
The minute that's possible, we should take a swing at it.
Oh, yeah.
But George said he looked into it. Didn't you say it was like hand-picked ones to start?
They're only putting up to start ones that they go out and handpick, and so they're not accepting submissions at this point.
And they're not necessarily music-based or anything, are they? It's just
podcasts in general.
Just podcasts. Did you say Kevin Smith had stuff up there?
I don't know if he does on Spotify. Because I haven't found anything yet that's actually up yet.
Oh, okay. All right.
But he does have his own podcast network. I'd been talking about that.
Yeah. Smodcast.
Smodco.
See, I listen to some of those. Do you still listen to some of those?
I haven't lately
You're
because
busy.
I don't commute anymore, and so that's usually my podcast time.
Yeah.
So I just squeeze in like the metal ones when I can now.
Okay, well, I'm excited about the next news story for two reasons. Because, why don't you say it, George, and then I'll make my comments.
Well, this was a blabbermouth reposting of Metal Chris from DCHeavyMetal.com's interview with Thomas Gabriel Fisher. And it wasn't really anything new that I hadn't heard before. This specific item, which was basically that Thomas Gabriel Fisher said that a Celtic Frost reunion is impossible. And if you go in and you read the interview, basically he says that he just doesn't trust the people that formed Celtic Frost anymore and has no desire to work with them again when the people in Triptychon can do the same things, and it's more of a friendly family kind of thing, and he enjoys working with them much better. So why would he go back and subject himself to possibly the same reasons, the things that, caused Celtic Frost to break up in the first place? Yeah.
All right, first comment. If he'll talk to Metal Chris, he would have talked to you. You should have tried for him, man. Second, they get along, though. I know he and Martin Ain are friends. I had to watch. You remember that documentary we were talking about? It's on YouTube. It's the Dying God thing.
Yeah.
That's good. There is kind of a weird, uncomfortable moment in there where they're getting an offer to play like Mexico, and the other guys don't want to do it. Mm-hmm. And he's like, "Did we get into this to be musicians to make a living, or do you guys? What was this like a joke to you?" They have this big argument. With the exception of Martin Ain. It's a shame only because I'd like to see him do stuff with Martin Ain again. Because I think they, as a unit, were why Monotheist was so good. And everything else they ever did.
It's funny because, he talks about how, in the interview, he's like, I just sat down with him like a week or two ago. And at the same time, he's talking shit about him as well. So how does that dynamic work when they're actually together? He's like, "Hey, I saw you talking shit about me again. Yeah, you want to get a beer?"
Yeah.
How does that work?
Did you feel like maybe he could have just been talking about the organization type thing, or I mean, was he really talking about Martin? Do you think? I feel like he said a name, but he definitely seemed disappointed with the concept. And I mean, it probably really isn't any more than them anyway. So I take it back. They probably don't have an organization, but
right.
Well, it's go ahead.
Has he not done anything else, Martin?
He was
No. I never really looked.
He owns.
I'm looking here on Wikipedia. It looks like he just did Hellhammer back in the day.
He was a Celtic Frost too, and then he was. I think he owns a club in.
Yeah, he owns a club in Zurich.
Yeah. So, and I think that's kind of his thing now. But he if you watch that documentary and if you listen to that record that the documentary is centered around, he was a huge part of the creative force there. But also, there's a really cool part where they go to Norway and they go to one of the churches that burned down in that video, and Martin Ain says, "Yeah, well, you sort of feel like maybe what we were saying influenced some of this, which is a shame." And even though he was there at Hellhammer, and Hellhammer lasted for like a year, Tom immediately goes, "Well, you weren't really there for that." Like apparently they wrote all the lyrics before he got there. Anyway, not surprised, not even disappointed. I mean, I already went through this disappointment, and I love those guys. So too bad, dude.
That's funny. I'm just now rereading The Lords of Chaos.
Yeah, right on.
And it's been like 15 years since I read it the first time. And when I first read it, I was just getting into the black metal stuff, and so now I'm much more familiar with all these people. And reading it again, I'm like, wow, this is really poorly written.
It's pretty bad.
I was like, wow, this is like, some high school kids put it together, and it's just it's out of things are all out of order and repeating things, and it's just poorly written. And I didn't notice that the first time because I was just like, a book about metal.
Well, did you go watch? Have you seen Before the Light Takes Us?
Yeah,
because I watched that. Ironically, just again recently. But this brings us up to not necessarily a new segment, but I was telling George ahead of time I got to stump the George.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Stump the George.
yeah. Where's our little clips for between the segments,
You're right,
Jay?
You're right. You're right. I'm working on it. I've had some sick guys in the band lately, but that's going to happen.
All right.
It'll be a great surprise when it comes. All right, here's my Stump the George. On the Hellhammer debut album, Apocalyptic Raids, that has, at the time, and maybe this has happened at other times in history, and maybe it's happened since then, I don't know, but that record had a very specifically strange technical special thing about it. And I'm trying to find a way to say what it is without describing it, but a lot of records wouldn't have it in common. And so how can I say this? There was a difference between side 1 and side 2 that was very strange and notable, and it was a technical difference, and it had to do with the way you played the record.
Was it the speed? Like you had to play one side at 33 and one side at 45?
You nailed it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Side 1 was 33 and side 2 was 45.
Nice.
Yeah, because they had ended up making the last song so long that it didn't work right. So there you go. Now I gotta get a copy. Do you have a copy of the original pressing?
No, I've got a repress.
See, now I gotta have that.
Yeah.
Well, all right, man, dude. You totally did that, but that's the way.
That was just dumb luck. I didn't know it.
Just like Stump the Trunk.
George,
Exactly.
Don't play your hand. What are you doing?
Well, I can see him. I see his brain working. But you know what? Massive props, dude. I probably wouldn't have gotten that. Nice answer.
Well, I never would have thought of that if it wasn't for the Jack White album.
Does that have?
That's it. Okay, Jay, that Jack White album, I have it just because what's on it's amazing. Like the sticker at the center of it, that's a track all by itself. The backside, if you like,
your backside.
If you do weird things, there's like
These nuts.
George, isn't there like 8 different things that are
Yeah,
different
there's all
on
kinds
it?
of crazy things on it. You can
Is that
play the label and stuff. So
Is that the one where you hold your phone up to it and it does something weird too? I saw this one where you there's an app. I don't remember what it was. I saw some story about it. You hold the telephone through the camera up to the app, and you can see these like graphics that you would not see otherwise.
That sounds familiar.
I need to check that out, actually.
Hey, just thing about that album, George, that was the biggest selling vinyl album since 1994. Little
Wow.
tidbit there.
No shit. Do you know how many it sold?
12.
I swear.
Look at George coming out swinging today. Yeah.
It was like-
you see what happens when we sit there, when I sit next to him, Jay? It takes out. George is just firing on all fucking cylinders now.
Yeah,
Sucks the life out of me.
It
such a
was
life force.
it was released and sold 60,000 copies.
Wow.
Damn, that's pretty good.
That is good.
Yeah, but still 12.
That's good even for not vinyl.
Yeah, it is. That's true, sadly.
All right. So, any Game of Thrones fans out there?
I watch it.
I watch it too.
I watched the first season, then I just busy with work and baby.
Well, apparently on this past week's episode called Hard Home, Mastodon made a cameo as wildling fodder at the big battle scene at the end of the episode, which was an incredible episode. As far as I'm concerned, it was like probably the best episode of Game of Thrones, period.
Hands down.
And I got to say though, I didn't notice them.
Me either, and I knew to look ahead of time.
You did?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think I usually don't watch that show live, like I tape it or something. Well, I watch it on demand. And I saw the story before I watched the show, and I looked for him, and I didn't see him. But I saw the picture, in the story, but no, I didn't see him.
Yeah.
Which is, I kind of wanted to, but I also don't want to step on what you just said, which was that was a great episode, dude.
It was.
And Buke, I watched the first season, didn't kind of got out of it, and then I watched like the last 2 seasons, and it's getting better and better, man. It's a good show.
It's I that's right up my alley with the stuff that I like to watch. I guess it's hard to explain to people who don't work night shift. There's just so much to try and
Yeah.
to try and do that. It's hard.
I've done night shift. I know how you feel, dude. Yeah. But hey, they'll always be out there. You can binge watch it someday.
Yeah.
But that was cool, and I wanted to know where they taped it, just because.
Ireland.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Ireland.
So I wonder if, I guess they probably went over special for that or something. Or have you ever been to Ireland?
No.
It's magic, man. It's
I wonder
everything.
who reached out to who. Was there a metalhead on the casting?
The producers were fans of the band, and they reached out to the band.
Man, that's awesome.
Well, they have a little Game of Thrones soundtrack thing, and they're on it.
Are they?
Yeah, and they do this really atmospheric acoustic thing that's kind of like a Wildlings folk song.
Oh, I think I have heard that.
Yeah, it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
And so that was probably their first connection. And then, I mean, it's I would also kind of mention here too, it's like Anthrax. Those guys have been on Walking Dead a couple of times.
I keep looking for Scott Ian, and I must have seen him, but I didn't recognize him.
I haven't watched it in a while, but I mean to go watch those episodes because I think he's been on there twice.
I think so. It's hard. I mean, I keep watching it, but I don't think it's very good. Hasn't been good for a long time, I don't think.
What's that? The Walking Dead?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I tapped out after the first season. It's just the acting is horrible. The episodes just go on and on and on.
Yeah, it's like you could really condense it down into a 2-hour thing, and it would probably be a lot better than the 20 episodes or whatever it is.
Same with me. I was out after the first season. They all just turn into a soap opera with whatever the main thing is. Like it's either a soap opera with vampires, a soap opera with zombies, or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Game of Thrones, I'm digging that show continues, and they've actually outpaced the book on a couple of the storylines right now.
Yeah, I just read that George R.R. Martin is dropping everything and racing to finish the next book before the next season comes out. So he's got about a year to get it done. Can he do it?
Maybe. Everybody was. We actually went and saw him do a book talk once. It was pretty cool. And he said he gets really pissed off because for a while there people were like, I hope he doesn't die like
Robert
Jordan.
I've been saying that for a decade. Going, well, I'm not going to read anymore because I stopped reading because I was like, he's taking too long. And then Jordan died because I read the Jordan.
Was Robert
books.
Jordan a big fat guy?
Kinda.
Because is that how Robert Jordan died, from being big?
No, he had I can't remember what it was. He had a disease of some kind. And so he sort of, he knew he was going to die. And so he made all these notes and stuff so that somebody could come in and finish the series. And somebody did, and he did a really great job. But yeah, for years I've been like, I'm not reading the George R. R. Martin books anymore because he's going to die, and he says he's not leaving notes or anything. Fuck us if he dies.
Yeah, he died of cardiac amyloidosis, whatever it is. His life expectancy was age 4,
Wow.
and he made it to 58.
Wow. But hey, if that was how low his life expectancy was, he could have been more responsible and not started writing those in the first place.
Yeah. So, I don't know. We'll see.
He was the Wheel of Time guy, right?
Yep.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I had a guy at my old job who always read their books, yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? The first one was great. And maybe the rest were great too. I don't know. But
It was one of the few series that ended well.
Oh, did it? Okay. Cool. I should probably go read it someday.
Yeah.
How many are there? Do you know?
There's 14 of them.
Yeah, 14.
Oh, I changed my mind. I'm not going to go read
And
them.
they're all like 800 to 1,000 pages long. I went back and reread it to try and, planning to finish up when the last book came out so that I could just go straight through. And it took me a year to
Really?
read. Yeah.
But you stayed the course.
Yeah, I read all 14 in a row.
Did you read his Conan books, George?
Back in the day, yeah, before he started these series, yeah, I read. He did a novelization of Conan the Destroyer.
Yeah, he did the Destroyer, the Unconquered, the Triumphant.
Yeah, so I knew him back in the Conan days because I used to read the Conan books.
Oh, right on.
We are way off course now.
Yeah.
Okay, it's a fucking book pie. Who cares? Grab a coffee. Grab a latte.
Metalheads book time.
You guys hear me? My microphone's muted. I have nothing to add on fucking books, but
Well, we're moving on anyway.
All right.
and very little to add on metal. So go ahead.
So I think it was last week. I was watching the Jimmy Fallon show, and they do these little skits on there, and they brought Ed Sheeran on, and frankly, I can't stand anything Ed Sheeran does. Little folky singer-songwriter guy. All the girls love him, and they did a little fake commercial for Ed Sheeran does metal. It's to take metal songs which are not palatable for the public and to make them palatable for women and children and families and such. And so they bring in Ed Sheeran, and he starts singing Iron Maiden's Run to the Hills acoustically. And Jimmy Fallon's all dressed up and sitting in a chair. And he's
Fallon's mentioning, timeless classic metal songs.
Like Morbid Angels, Where the Slime Lives.
Like Hammer Smashed Face.
Hammer Smash Faced and Angel of Death by Slayer. And unfortunately, and then every few songs they would cut to Ed Sheeran and he would be like, Run to the Hills.
As you were saying those titles, it occurs to me that the non-metal baby boomer people out there were probably like, and I think this is a tongue-in-cheek thing. We have to kind of be, humble about our music sometimes. All of those titles could have been made up jokes. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, at the end, there were some that he made up.
Oh, were there? Right on.
Yeah. But what disappointed me was that the ones that he played, Run to the Hills is a great song. But for somebody who's not metal, they're going to hear these lyrics and go, what's the big deal?
Yeah.
Because it's not like Hammer Smashed Face.
I need to go watch it. You saw it, Buke, too?
Yeah, I saw it 'cause it was all over Twitter and stuff.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know why I didn't see it, but I'll go back and look at it. It sounds cool. It reminds me of a funny Saturday Night Live thing that I saw one time, to switch with you again, and there was cool. And there was this old commercial. This was so funny. Yeah, this commercial, and it was for a toy by Hasbro called Chess for Girls, and it was like, because I guess only boys played chess. I don't know, and it was like, and it wasn't. They were just chess pieces, but they had little cars, and like they put them to bed, and and they had like a little chess house and everything. And then the last scene of the commercial, the mom comes in. They're all moving the chess pieces around like in their little house, and she says, "What are you girls doing in there?" And they say, "We're playing chess." It's such a funny commercial, man.
That's horrible. I mean, funny, but
yeah, unkind to say the least. But
yes,
yeah, but very much so metal for non-metal people. Which, by the way, I don't like. Please, if you guys like them, tell me so. But when I see these like metal on, quintets, like Cronus Quintet or somebody doing metal or metal all up, I hate that shit. Like, I'm not joking. I just can't stand it.
Well, actually, this next item.
I was just about to say that.
Maiden United just released their new album, Remembrance, on May 22nd. And for those unfamiliar, Maiden United is a band that covers Iron Maiden songs acoustically.
Well, the acoustic thing I can dig. It's more like when people try to do like lullabies and it's like Enter Sandman. It's like, dude, come on.
Yeah.
I just don't have time for that stuff.
Yeah, I hear you.
With the mild exception, one of the greatest ones ever, and I hope you two have it, is it's this band from Estonia who only plays medieval instruments did a bunch of Black Sabbath covers.
Oh yeah, I have that. I can't.
It's so good.
Oh, what is that called? I don't have it on my phone anymore. I had it on my phone forever.
It's like one of the only metal kind of like tribute things that's not metal that I really, really thought was brilliant.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was like this medieval. Like there's a couple of songs I still listen to. Like the Planet Caravan on there is just insanely cool.
To the Google.
To the Google. So, do you have their other albums? Made in,
Is it Sabatum?
Yeah.
That's them. That's a good record, man. You would dig that.
Well, yeah, I do have the other Maiden United albums, and they're really cool.
Okay.
I wish I could get them on vinyl. I saw that the new one, Remembrance, is available on vinyl. I'm gonna have to get that. It's cool. It's very relaxing, mellow versions of Iron Maiden songs, and I like them a lot. I mean, and they're it's just a side project for people that actually play metal. So,
I guess the difference for me is if they're truly like artistically doing their own interpretation of it, that's one thing. You know what I mean? It's just, but it's more the ones that are novelties I can't stand. I guess
Look at this backpedaling going on now.
Don't hate me.
It's Sabatum, medieval tribute to Black Sabbath.
Yeah.
okay.
That's a good record, man.
Yeah. Estonia.
It's a backpedaling. I was backpedaling so hard. I was backpedaling into the previous story somehow. You know what I mean? Like I went back in time.
Yeah, he went back in time. Okay, so what's this Celtic Frost news, George?
It's like Superman spinning the planet around to save Lois Lane.
Oh man, I have no pride.
All right. Well, we're gonna have like the next like 6 items or so is all about new releases. So there's gonna be some good music coming out in the next couple of months. First up is the new Nuclear Assault EP. Pounder is coming out. I think it's this month actually, and they're streaming a new song from it called "Analog Man in a Digital World." Any Nuclear Assault fans?
I was back in the day. I bought Game Over, which I think is the first one. And I bought it, I think, because Danny Lilker was on it. I almost have to have you say that for me, Buke.
Get ready to correct me, George.
The bass player from Anthrax previously.
Yes.
And like for 5 minutes, that first record was good, and then they kind of fell off my map. I think it was called Game Over, but it might have been self-titled.
It was.
Game over,
We'll
man.
talk about that more later.
We will. Interesting. All right, that's a hint. Did you listen to the stream, George?
I did, and I wanted to say their last album came out like 10 years ago. It's called Third World Genocide, and I was not pleased when it came out. I didn't like it. But the new song, I liked it. It was pretty good. So I'm sort of disappointed that it's only an EP, and supposedly they're like doing a tour, like Game Over, like no more tour, kind of breaking up for good kind of thing or something. So I don't know. We'll see.
Well, he was talking about retirement a couple of years ago. There was a big story about that, and then he kind of backpedaled.
Into the last story.
Jay style, yeah. And okay, well, I'll check it out. I'll go listen to that stream after the cast today because I'm at least that interested. I mean, I don't even know how many records they did because I only had the one.
It's like Sam Kinison on vocals.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you got it.
But I can't recreate it. But that's sort of what he sounds like. Like when Sam Kinison's doing his Wild Thing scream.
Yeah.
But anyway. So The Sword is also releasing an album. I just found that out last night. I was like, what? But they've got a new album called High Country coming out on August 21st. August is going to be a busy month.
Damn it. Also a stream. I haven't heard this yet. Which I'm a little bit... what, did you listen to it?
No. Was there a stream?
It says stream Pathogenic Apathy. Oh,
that's the next one.
Good. Then I'm glad I didn't miss it because... I'm kind of keen to see what this is going to sound like because the last one, they started to creep into. You could really hear their kind of Texas ZZ Top classic rock influence, which I don't have a huge problem with, but I kind of like. What is that? What is my favorite record by them? Is probably that the one
Mine's
with
their Warp Riders.
Warp Riders?
Personally,
That's what I was going to say. And that first song on there is so good, but the whole record's good. That's probably their most metal record, I think.
Agreed.
So if they we'll see if they keep going in that direction. Did you guys like the last record?
They came out. They were one of those bands.
Yeah, me too.
That remember when they came out, George? We saw them live with Metallica.
Yeah.
And they came out like it was the backing a lot of Guitar Hero at the time. But they came out, and you thought they were going to be the second coming of a metal band.
Yeah.
And I think in recent years they've kind of not putting out bad stuff. They kind of fizzled out a little bit, and they're having their name out there.
Yeah, well, you know, there was a lot of press around it because they were out with Metallica.
Yeah.
Not out with Metallica anymore. You know, the interest starts to wane unless you know you're making big waves of your own somehow.
Well, they were very much. I agree, though. They were like the second coming. They were one that the hipsters were into. Which
Everyone was talking about this.
Yeah, but I did. By the way, I don't want to downplay it. I did like that last record. I thought it was really good. But Warp Riders was their best one, and I think that was the one right before the last one, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Do you remember what the last one was called?
Apocrypha.
Apocrypha. I was going to say
Apocryphin or something like that.
Yeah. Had some good songs on it.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I'll buy it.
Yeah, I will too.
I actually, Warp Riders is the only one I have on vinyl, as a matter of fact.
Same. Their most recent one I tried to find. It's a little too expensive.
I've got it.
Really?
I got to stop saying that. Of course I have it.
Of course you have it.
Could that be? We need one of those soundboard, the soundboard checks there.
And you know how George...
Of course you
Did you hear the way George said it? I've got it.
But I said it that way because I was like, I know I'm going to take shit for this when I say this, but
Jay, we will get this later when we get to our new vinyl purchases. All the time I buy all these vinyl, and I was so excited to go into our local record shop that never has anything. And I walk out of there with this long list of stuff, and I send a message to George, and George just in his message just goes, "Cool."
Hey, if you liked what you bought, great for you. But I either
That's
already
George
had
is
it.
saying, if I would have passed on it.
Well, yeah.
But it's sort of like Michael Jordan, congratulating somebody else on a layup. It's like, yeah, nice job, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd seen some of those before. I mean, some of those were ones that have been there a while, like the Slayer and
No, not
Iron
the
Maiden.
sealed. No, not the sealed picture disc. No. Okay, we'll get to it later. Move on.
Was that the live on deck? Okay, we'll get to it later.
Yeah, we'll get to it.
Yeah. Anyway, all right. So the next thing coming out is a band whose main member we mentioned in the last podcast when we were interviewing Mike Hill. This is Hate Eternal featuring Eric Rutan, and they're releasing Infernus on August 24th. And if you go online, you can stream a new track called Pathogenic Apathy, which I have listened to, and it's pretty badass.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll get it when it comes out.
Buke, thoughts?
Hate Eternal, I've always seen a lot of guys at shows wearing their stuff. I've never listened to them. I always see that one album I'm looking up right now on shirts.
Hit Spotify.
Yeah, King of All Kings. I see that on a lot of shirts, and I've just never taken the time to listen to it yet.
Okay.
Hey, what were you just passing in front of the camera there, Buke? What was that album?
A record that we're going to... That's for the vinyl.
No, where is that? Okay. Because actually I'm going to kind of just stop here for a second, or you can keep this in, but do you guys have... do you both have the first... okay, George, I know you do. The first Paul Bear on a vinyl?
Both.
Nope, I don't have any of them. I have the second one, not the first.
What color is your vinyl, George?
I'll have to look.
Because... this is in many thanks to Buke, because Buke sent me that from Death Fest. Dude, it is the most beautiful vinyl I've ever seen.
It is gorgeous. It is fucking gorgeous.
It's like blue sky with white clouds in it. I'm going to send it to you right now, George. Anyway, pardon me for...
I believe I have... Based on my... Discogs entry, it looks like I just have the regular black.
Yeah, I'm sending you this right now. It is so fucking cool, dude. Like, it's one of the nicest looking vinyls I have. All right, it's coming your way. And I did listen to it though. I had a little band party the other night when we were celebrating our record some months late, and I listened to it from top to bottom, and everybody dug it.
Excellent.
Isn't that cool, dude? You got your phone there, George?
Yeah.
It's gorgeous.
It's just so nice.
Ooh, pretty.
Yeah.
So I know Buke is definitely chomping at the bit to get this next album. Motorhead is going to be releasing their new album, Bad Magic, on August 28th.
You know what?
More of the same, huh?
More of the same.
I'll be honest with you, man. I didn't actually buy the last one, and I'm not dying to buy this one.
I didn't either, and
Yeah.
I'm not going to either. I'll listen to it. I'll Spotify it or Tidal if it's on there, but
Yeah.
it is more of the same, I'm sure.
To be fair, I think they have eras, unbeknownst to Buke, where there are these separate Motorhead eras, and we're in the middle of an era that's been going on for a little too long, you know. And no offense, but just whatever. I like the title.
Hey, it's been another year. Prop up Lemmy and let's do another album. Get Diane Warren in here with some new songs, and
we got like a mop handle in the studio. They just So, but cool. I mean, but hey, on the other hand, keep cranking them out, man.
Yeah, better this than no Lemmy.
Yeah.
This next one, though, Ahab is getting ready to release their new album, also on August 28th, called The Boats of Glencarrig.
Yep.
Buke and I, at least, I don't know.
Oh, yeah. I'm totally down, dude.
All right. So all three of us, then, are big fans of Ahab. Their last album, The Giant, was just it was giant. It was massive. It was awesome.
Yeah, they're insanely cool. It's funny, too. I don't know about... It's funny because they were like right after Leviathan came out, the Mastodon thing, there were like two Moby Dick themed bands that came out. One was Ahab, and I can't remember the other one. But Ahab is great. That was the one. And they still continue on this theme, which is super cool. They're like Nile, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't have to tell you, but I will. This will be one that I'll get the day it comes out.
There's another band that's ocean themed. Well, there's also the ocean. But there's another band called In Mourning, and they have an album called The Weight of Oceans, which is kind of ocean themed and is also incredibly badass. You should check that out.
Okay, I will.
But so they posted a clip from a song.
I want to shout out to the Demons Be Scribblins guys for sending this our way.
Yeah, we were clueless. So thanks for that.
And this was on my list of most anticipated albums for the year.
And
okay.
We weren't even sure when it was coming out, if it was even coming out this year, because they were pretty tight-lipped about it. And all of a sudden, boom, it's like only a couple months away now.
Where are they from, do you know?
To the Google.
I totally love these guys, man. Do you guys have vinyl of their stuff?
Yes.
They're from Germany.
Germany. That was my Austria, Germany, one of those.
The Giant. We own that on vinyl, and it's a fucking amazing album.
Yeah, I have it. I don't have that vinyl.
I've got at least two. I think I have all three on vinyl. But, that's a given, right?
Hey, but don't ever stop, George. Yeah, man, I do love. I love these guys, so I'm totally psyched about this one. And you know what? I'll even jump in with you, Buke. I expect this to be definitely top 10er, maybe top 5er.
I was thinking that,
Now,
but then
saying that, George, go ahead, give your impressions on the trailer.
They played like a 1-minute teaser, and it was fucking horrible.
Uh-oh.
I was like, the vocals. I mean, the music was just like nothing special, and the vocals were like that. I call them cement mixer vocals.
Yeah,
like the extreme death metal. It's like not quite a pig squeal, but it's just kind of I can't even do it. It's like really scrapey sounding, and I was just like, this doesn't sound like Ahab. It just sounds like bad, brutal death metal.
Okay, I'm not pleased to hear that.
But as Buke was quick to point out, is only a quick teaser, so hopefully...
And their songs are long.
Yes, hopefully it's not indicative of like a massive shift in style or anything.
Was it multiple samples from multiple songs or just one song?
Just one song.
Okay, all right. Yeah,
I was listening to it in the car, streaming it from YouTube on my phone, so maybe I should put on some headphones and listen to it again. Maybe it's not as bad as I thought. But
okay.
I was surprised, to say the least.
Yeah, that's unnerving. Okay.
Buke, this next one's all you.
Yes, this one I was on Blabbermouth, and I saw a story that Yuli John Roth, in an interview, quoted that music has lost the social standing that it used to have. Jay, I wanted to ask you what you thought about this, and if you feel that that's true today? As someone who plays music, on a weekly basis.
Well, no, I kind of feels that way to me too. I'll be honest with you, dude, because I don't know, or maybe it's just because there's so much now. I don't know what it is, but I mean,
you know what? Not to interrupt you there. What I thought as someone who doesn't play music, do you think because with technology where it is, it's so easy for anybody to be an artist or a musician or to be a band?
Anybody can just throw a bunch of songs together, slap Catatonic Society on it, and put it out there,
Actually, I'm going to pigeonhole or whatever. I'm going to attach this to another news story that we didn't put up, or that we didn't put on today's pod. And I'm going to say that these two things are related. And one of them, and it was with Dave Ellefson, and he was talking about how just like the economic spread these days, there's the 1%ers, and then there's everybody else. And I think he's right. He said all the record companies and everything put all their money into like 6 big artists, and the rest of us are just fighting for scraps, and in most cases not even getting by. And I think those two things are related somehow. You know what I mean?
And I also took this article to, like, you look at the stadium bands of the 80s, 70s, your Queen, your those type of acts. We don't even have that in music today with anybody.
The mystique is gone too.
Yeah.
Like the mystique is even gone with both Led Zeppelin and Tool. Both of those bands maintained the mystique for the longest time. The internet blew that shit out of the water. So I don't know, man. I mean, yeah, I do. But also, just as far as the respect thing goes, yeah, I think he's right. I do think he's right. I don't think people hold them. We do. The three of us do. I think hold.
It's like Jay to me. Jay's a god. Jay fucking can sing. Oh, sorry, Bree. Cover your earmuffs. Jay can sing. Jay can play. Yeah, Jay's awesome. I have a lot of respect for that. Some other kid today may be like, I can do it on GarageBand with my finger, touching a screen.
Yeah.
It's weird. We're living in strange times, man. We are living in strange musical times. There's probably more good music out there than there's ever been, but there's also, I guess, more bad. I don't know.
One of the other things that he was saying, and I couldn't read the whole article because I just could not give two shits about Uli John Roth. But
but he wants you to, though.
Yes. But he did say that, the whole instant gratification of iTunes isn't necessarily a good thing. I beg to differ on that.
Yeah, I'm down. Yeah.
And, but the point he was making was that the songs are supposed to be played together, not just one at a time. And I can understand that. And I can agree with that. But
and you and I were preconditioned, though. You and I, that's the way we grew up. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I don't even know if you would, get that skill, if that's what it is, if you were 15 now.
Yeah.
You might. I don't know.
When cassettes was all the rage the first time, if you just liked one song on an album, that was a pain in the ass because you'd listen to it and then you'd have to rewind it and then play it again and then listen to it and rewind it. When CDs came along, it was a lot easier. You could just put things on repeat and you just listen to the one song. Cassettes, it just made sense to just let it run.
Yeah.
Play the whole album, flip it over, and, you get back to the beginning again eventually.
Well, but and it kind of comes back to something we've talked about before, too, which is it's so much fun to sit down, put on a record, sit there with the cover, especially with today's double vinyls things, like the Paul Bearer record that we were talking about a minute ago. Yeah, I have to interact with that record 4 times to get through it. Mm-hmm. There's not even that many songs on the record. But that's awesome, it's cool. I'm sitting there and I'm looking at it, and yeah. But I by the way, I'm not a Uli John Roth fan either.
Yeah.
I mean, it was cool when he was in Scorpions, but
they weren't really all that good until after he left.
Yeah.
I mean, the stuff
point.
that I like anyway. I wasn't familiar with them.
Now, something we do like, though, guys, but might not like them this much. Announcement came out that Metallica this year, coming up in the next couple months, will release a 25-disc.
Nope, 50 disc.
Sorry, a 50-disc titled 25 Nights Down Under. A 50-disc set of 25 live shows from New Zealand and Australia.
Metallica does not do things in half measures. They can't just release an album from Australia. They have to release 25 albums from Australia.
can I just say that this is, to me, proof of two things. One thing in particular. There is
one, the world's full of multiple Georges who will buy this.
Hey, even I won't buy this unless it's on vinyl.
No, this just goes to, and I'm going to almost make this a segment on the show. That this phrase I'm about to say, there is nobody in that organization that tells those guys no ever. And I know they run the organization, but I mean, nobody ever says this is a bad idea.
Yeah.
What are like their last major decisions? Lulu, the movie, a 50 CD box set of just live shows. It's probably got, and there's probably only, on 50 CDs, I bet you there's only 20 to 25 different songs on all 50 CDs.
They said there were 60-some songs.
I should have read that.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you this. But I mean, this is absurd. There are Metallica fans out there that'll buy this, but I just go make a new record. God damn it. If you want to do something, make a new record.
Yeah. Edit yourself a little bit.
Now, this won't be on the box set, but can I mention something cool, though? This is from their later stuff. I may be crucified here. Metallica, at a recent festival in Germany, played The Unforgiven 2 for the second time ever.
Yeah,
I like that song.
Yeah,
I love that fucking song, too.
Yeah. Yeah, and I was surprised to hear they'd only play it 2 times, to be honest with you.
The previous other time was 1997 during the Billboard Music Awards.
Wow. Well, I don't know. It's so hard with me with these guys these days, man.
Yeah.
They just almost don't do anything where I'm just like, they literally must just have all these sycophantic yes men who work for them and are just like, yeah, it's a great idea. Binge and Purge box set was almost too much.
I'm sorry. That is some of the best live recordings ever.
It's awesome, but it's a lot. That's all I'm saying.
Dude, their performance of Harvester of Sorrow on that box, oh man, I love it.
Actually, I just recently watched A Year and a Half in the Life of Metallica again. Did you ever watch that?
I think I have a copy from a friend.
It's good. It's fun. It's literally a look into their lives from when they started recording to the Black Album to not necessarily the end of the tour, but very deep in the tour. And I like those things where you get to see what somebody's house looks like and what they look like on vacation and all that shit. So, but anyway, no, I'm not lining up for this one. Was there a price on it?
It was $349, I think.
Holy.
I like this though. Oh. That was actually an audible gut punch.
Yeah.
Literally, yeah.
So we know Jay's going to be excited for the release of the new High on Fire album. Has he streamed the new song yet, The Sunless Years?
I have. I dig it. And I mean, bear with me here because I don't like to crap on any of my favorite bands, but I am willing to admit that High on Fire is approaching more of the same territory, but that's all they'll ever be. So I'll get it. I don't know that it's going to be in contention for my top, like even my top 20. Yeah, probably in my top 20, just guessing. And the 2 songs I've heard actually are pretty vital. They're pretty faster than their usually songs are and stuff, which is a lame description. Yeah, I'm down for it, man.
It sounded very Sabbath to me.
Oh, did you? Is that the vibe you got from it?
Yeah, like some of the guitar playing was very Sabbath sounding.
Right on. And I didn't mean to crap on them because I love those guys, man. So I'll get it. That's eminent. That is due out very soon. I think it's coming out in June. Yeah,
it is. So there's a new Ghost song from their forthcoming album called Circle. And I listened to the stream of that, and I have to say I was pretty impressed compared to that last album, which I wasn't real keen on.
Yeah, we were worried.
But so far, so good.
Actually, I think I gotta correct you, George. I don't think it's called Circle. It's called Cirice, Cirice. And if you'll notice, the graphic image that they've got in the video that's playing, it looks like Clarice from what is that movie? Silence of the Lambs. And I don't know if they're related, but to back it up, it's probably the heaviest song I've ever heard from them. I gotta say too, dude, looking at YouTube, that's got 404,000 watches, almost 405,000 watches.
Ghost is huge.
Yeah, they are. I like it. I thought it was way better. I think I listened to that last record maybe twice.
Yep, George, it's Cirice. So it's on Metal Sucks. Listen to new Ghost song Cirice, Cirice, right now.
Oh yeah.
But I'm wondering if that's a playoff of the Clarice thing.
Because that's what the picture is.
Yeah. So,
Cirice.
And we might be pronouncing that wrong, by the way.
Yeah.
It's a good song. I like it. It sounds like you guys are into it too.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, pleasantly surprised.
I really hope, like we already said, Infestiamon, whatever that was, I really hope it's better than that. Because
And
I
of
was
course-
riding so high on these
Yeah.
guys after their first album.
Yeah, and we didn't know each other then, and I'm proud to say I wish this is probably not Number of the Beast or anything, but believe me, that came into my world the same way it came into yours. I was like, this is the greatest thing I've heard in the longest time.
George, did you also see this? According to the band's management, Ghost has officially dropped the BC from its name.
Good.
Oh,
I never
you know
use
what?
it anyway.
And I didn't even notice that, but it's not on the
They
thing
must have
on
resolved it.
All right. Yeah, I appreciate that too. I don't like that kind of crap. Cool, man. Yeah, I bet you the record's going to be good.
Phil Anselmo came out and announced that Superjoint Ritual is playing. They're reunited. Hank Williams is not with them on bass, but that's okay. They're doing like a 10-stop or so tour coming up. So I'm super excited for that. I may be taking a drive to see them up in Pennsylvania because they're not coming through here.
Oh, the dates are up.
Sad news, though. Sad news. Why I had to do a podcast this week. Yeah, you sad too, Bree? It was announced that one of my favorite bands, 3 Inches of Blood from Vancouver, Canada, are parting ways. Announcement came out via their Facebook page that, unfortunately, this is not the sort of news you were waiting to hear from us, but here goes. It's come to announce that 3 Inches of Blood has decided to part ways. Naturally, people will have questions as to why we've collectively made this decision. While our reasons are personal, just know that we're all still good friends. It's just time to move on. And they go on to thank all the fans and everybody who's supported them.
What a
They're
bummer.
going to play a final show November 7th up in Vancouver. Bummer. Absolute bummer. Their first album, Advance and Vanquish, is one of my most favorite albums to come out in recent years. And they really hit it loud again with Long Live Heavy Metal. And I'd hoped that they'd continue to go on. They interviewed Cam Pipes a couple months back for the podcast. So go back through and give that pod a listen. And I'm actually going to try and get Cam back on, maybe get his final thoughts if he wants to share any.
I'm like being everybody's editor today, but I think the first one was actually called Battle
Cry Under a Winter's Sun. Yeah, that was a
that's the
small
first
album
one.
that they released. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, yes.
No. I like these guys too. I'm probably not quite the fan that you are, Buke, but I do like them. Sorry to see them go. I mean, they've been around for a while too. You know?
They had, but not surprising in this day and age.
Nope.
You know, it sounds like they all have work that they're doing now, and
I think there comes a point where they have to decide, do I want to give up this good professional opportunity I've got somewhere? That happens with a lot of bands, you know? Like, who knows what? But somebody in the band probably they say they're going to keep doing music, but it's too bad, man.
Yeah, it is.
it's sad to see it go.
And also, by the way, Buke, believe it or not, if Superjoint was coming to you guys, if Superjoint was coming to Maryland, that would be one I would come out there for, just to break that seal.
Yes. Dude, I'm
But
telling you.
But I'm coming in for something, you know.
George isn't high on these guys. I am such a fan of Supergiant Ritual that I have to go see this tour.
I like everything Phil's done after Pantera. I like all his solo stuff. Well, not all his solo stuff, but
Not that solo album.
Not Phil Anselmo and the Illegal.
yeah. All right, I want to hear this next one out of George's mouth.
So, one of my longest running favorite bands, Running Wild, is of course playing Wacken this year. I didn't know that until I just read this the other day. Obviously, they're in Germany, makes sense. So I'm pissed off that I'm going to miss them again, and they're going to be premiering a new song as well. So I don't know, maybe I can find some sort of ticket and still go to this thing. But
Sorry, bro. Actually, I'm waiting to see if one of you. Our top 3 today is top 3 instrumentals. I'm waiting to see if one of you guys chose that Running Wild instrumental. I can't remember which record it's on. Because you're a fan too, right, Buke?
not really.
I am. I'm a little bit. Nowhere near like George.
Not like George. Okay. All right on.
Nobody's like George.
How active are they, George? Are they?
Well, they broke up for a little while, or disbanded, retired, whatever. And then they came back, of course, with Resilient like a year or 2 ago.
How far up the bill are they on Wacken?
I don't know. I didn't see that. I just saw the headline, and I was just like, God damn it.
Nah, my heart is broken for you, man. Sorry.
I've been wanting to see them for 30 years.
Can I just say, moving into new releases, I'm totally excited about. Well, I about talking about this one, but
I've only got a couple of them, so
yeah.
New releases. The first one is from Necrogoblicon and their new album, Heavy Meta.
The only reason I'm excited about this is they have the best video in the history of videos.
Yeah, which one?
Oh, yeah. The one where the goblin is like working in the office and he falls in love with this girl. And have you seen that, Buke? That's the greatest video ever. I love that video.
I've seen it or not.
I'll send it to you, dude.
They used to be a lot more comedic and like melodic death meets folk metal.
Yeah.
This new album, they've over the last couple albums, they've really sort of matured their sound, and now it's really just kind of a melodic death metal with some clean vocals. The song titles and stuff are still kind of comedic, but
their fucking videos are great.
But
they're brilliant.
Yeah.
There's also that's the one right there, George. I sent it to you, and there's also a live video. He comes along sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he like runs around and just does you got to watch that video. But I'm not a huge fan of theirs or anything. But I've watched that video 10 times.
Right on.
Yeah, so cool.
Right on.
The
next one is actually a release that I was supposed to talk about last time, but I missed it. The new album from Venomous Maximus called Firewalker.
And let me just say that we are Skyping each other video here, and George is wearing a Venomous Maximus shirt as we speak.
Yeah.
That's right.
Wondering if you picked that up at Death Fest?
No, I ordered it from the band on probably on Bandcamp or something.
I honestly don't know. What kind of thing are we talking about here?
It's kind of a doom, gothic, stoner kind of thing. I first heard these guys when they put out their EP, The Mission, a few years back, and they were the first band to send me vinyl to review.
No way.
And I was like, sweet.
Have you? That's awesome, dude.
Yeah, and so I've been a fan ever since. This is I want to say it's their third album, but I think it's technically their second. Like it was like an EP and then 2 albums, I think. And it's pretty good. It's kind of stoner meets Misfits kind of thing with maybe a little Sisters of Mercy thrown in there. It's cool.
Can I add a last minute new release?
Certainly.
There's a band here in Berkeley called The Ghost Next Door, and I just found out about these guys. They're a metal band, kind of something like between Tool, but also like more traditional metal and stuff. They're really good, man. And they're actually from my town, and their record is just coming out of Mausoleum Records, and I want to apologize. I don't even know what the album's called. But I had sent you guys a link to it, and I'm really looking forward to this record, man.
Right on.
Yeah, the songs I've heard are really good. I wrote to the guy and asked him, did he want to do some shows with us? And also, could we play stuff on the pod? But then I realized they just signed to Mausoleum. So I want to kind of give that a pitch, but just announce it as a new release. I'm going to get it. I was thinking of going to the CD release show.
All right. Excellent. Why don't we go ahead and hop right into our top 3?
This is going to hurt. Did you guys have to do any honorable mentions, 4 and 5s?
I did a 4.
Okay. I'm mixing a 4 and a 5 into an honorable mention.
All right, like Jay.
I'm just changing my number 3 up right now because it's fucking awesome.
Can I? How about you start, Buke? Did we just say what it was?
We mentioned it earlier, but it's the top 3 instrumental songs.
Tough one. Could I just say that when we started doing it, we talked about it last night briefly. At first, I was like, I'm not going to be able to think of 3, and then I was like, I can't narrow it down to 3 once I got going. So, hey, Buke, let's start with you.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much for the opportunity to go first. Fucking Jeff Loomis, Shouting Fire at the Funeral. Off his solo album, Zero Order Phase. Amazing.
Cool. When you had said earlier, we talked before the pod, and Buke was wondering if we could do that, guitar player albums, and I thought you were going to do a Jeff Loomis, so cool.
Amazing work.
Georgie boy?
All right. Should I do my honorable mention and then my 3?
Yeah, honorable mention first.
All right. My honorable mention is Joe Satriani and his Surfing with the Alien album, specifically Always With Me, Always With You, but also Satch Boogie, Crushing Day, Surfing with the Alien, the song, Ice 9. I mean, the whole freaking album is just amazing.
It's Always With Me, Always With Me, Always With You, this one. Yeah. That's a really pretty song, man.
It is beautiful. I learned how to play like 10 notes of that. But yeah, it's great, but it's more of a rock record. But I just had to throw that out there. So my number 3, I think this will make everybody scratch their head. Faith No More, Woodpecker from Mars from the Real Thing album.
Not a head scratcher, but I'm gonna have to go re-listen to it.
Never heard of it. Okay.
Yeah. I had 2 honorable mentions, one of which I'm pretty sure you're both going to be like, I didn't even think of that, but you might have. So honorable mentions, I have 2. Maiden, Genghis Khan, which is like a really kick-ass instrumental off of Killers.
I was thinking about that one.
And then here's the one, though, that I think you will have not thought of, but that's brilliant. And then you'll be like, of course. And it's Moby Dick off Zeppelin 2, which is great.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, but now I got to get to my actual number 3. And it is the last song off of Perfect Strangers. And it's just Richie being Richie for 9 minutes. It's called Son of Alaric.
Wow. Didn't think of that.
It's great. That's one of my favorite instrumentals ever. Buke?
Number 2, Megadeth, off of So Far, So Good, So What, Into the Lungs of Hell.
Nice.
Wow.
Nice. And I didn't think of that.
Amazing guitar work by Dave on this.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, good one.
All right. My number 2, Iron Maiden, Lost for Words from Power Slave.
Thought somebody would have it. You know, there's by the way, there's a live version of that available out there that was recorded for the Live After Death sessions. You can probably find it on YouTube if you care.
Right on.
My number 2, Buke. This one, a little shout out to you, off of Blood Mountain, Blade Catcher by Mastodon.
Great choice, buddy. That's a great one.
Insanely cool song. And that brings us to you, Buke. You're number 1. Oh, no. Where were we? Wait. Actually, before you say it, I wonder if we should all just say our number 1 at the same time, because I'm positive it's the same song.
Not mine.
Okay.
Mine. I'm not. I'm breaking the trend here. Just because the first time I heard this album and this song, I was like, man, that tops off such a great album. And it's actually the second to last track. This is Opeth with Ending Credits.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's good, dude. Good call.
Off of Deliverance.
Yeah.
All right.
George, I still feel like we could say ours at the same time, George.
I'm worried. I mean, it's entirely likely.
Does it start with an O?
It does. You want to do it?
Yeah, let's do song first, then band. So 1, 2, 3.
Orion by Metallica.
Yeah. And you know what? I wanted to walk away from that. I really did, but I couldn't.
Yeah.
It's the greatest. It's so good.
It is so good.
Yeah. And I'm surprised. Buke, did you bust? That was the trend you were busting?
Yeah, I knew you guys were going to say that. Every list would have that. It's amazing. And what really reminded me how awesome that song was at the end of their movie that they put out, when they end with that and they're just jamming up on stage, just playing that. Oh, awesome.
Frankly, I could have gone with a couple more of them. I mean, Call of Cthulhu would have been amazing. And even Suicide and Redemption from Death Magnetic was a great song.
Yes, George. Great one. Yes.
Those are both great. I listened to Call of Cthulhu last night just to kind of check my math, you know what I mean? And I didn't end up going with it. But I was reminded of that one on Death Magnetic. That's got some sick, big, fat riffs in it, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one. So that was a fun one, man.
Yeah, definitely. Good call on that one.
What are we listening to? Let's go in the same order. Buke, what you listening to? Or am I going to? That's where we were headed, right?
You?
That's where we were headed. Coming off of Death Fest, my head was spinning. I'm like, what the hell do I listen to? It's there's so much stuff to listen to. I wanted to kind of take a step back and go a little bit easier. This album came out earlier this year. I don't know how to really describe these guys. That's not really what I'm best at. George can help me here. But this is the self-titled album, The Wolf Council. From The Wolf Council. They're self-titled, obviously. George, how do you describe these guys? It's a hard rock, almost metal album. It's a good album.
It's funny because I gave you that album, but I haven't listened to it in a little while, so I would actually have to go back and listen to it again to describe it. I vaguely remember it, and yeah, it's sort of a hard rock, maybe a little bit of stoner.
I've never heard them, but let me just kind of step in here, and I think I have the perfect description, even though I don't know them, which is under genre on their Facebook page, they put kick ass.
There you go.
Yeah, my ears, since Death Fest, it's a constant ringing, spinning still. So I wanted to take a step back and listen to something a little bit easier. So the Wolf Council, they're self-titled.
Okay, I'll check it out. And I am listening to, got 3 kind of things in a pretty heavy rotation right now. One's, I went backwards, and I've been listening to Evangeline, Behemoth's last record. That it's a little heavier than the Satanist, I'd be honest with you, but Anyway, it's a good record. It's got some cool, catchy stuff on it. Also, listen to that Entrails record that you were talking so highly of last week.
Yes.
And I was listening to this before the last pod, I'm pleased to say, and I've been still stuck on with me is that Cult of End Times. I listen to that quite a bit.
Yeah, me too.
So those are mine.
Amazing.
That's where I'm at right now. George?
This is a band that I hadn't heard about until a couple of weeks ago. And then one of the guys that we were talking to at Deathfest mentioned them as his the band that is topping his list for this year. This was a local band from D.C. called Ilsa, and their album The Felon's Claw.
Okay.
I've been listening to this on Bandcamp, and it's pretty badass. It's like Death Doom. They label it they label it Death Doom / crust. I'm not really sure what crust is, but it's
a word you're going to be hearing more and more, by the way. That's a word that's used here a lot.
Yeah.
There are a lot of crust bands. I don't really know what they are, but there's crust bands here, and they're metal. It's a metal thing.
I know it's like something to do with punk.
Okay.
It originated with punk anyway, but basically it's sort of slow, heavy music. The vocals are like death metal, but they're more of a... Where Death Doom, you're thinking like lower, deeper. And these are more in the higher range.
Okay.
And so they kind of cut through the music nicely, and I'm digging it. So thanks to the dude at Deathfest that told me about them.
Cool. Yeah, I jotted both of those down. You guys both had ones I don't know about, so cool.
Right. Why don't I go ahead and start with my classic, because we actually already mentioned it. And that would be the 1986 album Game Over by Nuclear Assault.
Good choice. Good record.
This was one of my early vinyl purchases. I bought it on vinyl on Combat Records back in 86, 87, somewhere around there when it first came out.
Me too. I remember buying it when it first came out.
And, this was one of the early crossover bands that was sort of, combining punk and metal. And so the songs are like pretty short, like songs like Hang the Pope's only like 30 seconds long or something like that. There's a couple like 30-second songs. A la DRI or something, and other songs like "Stranded in Hell." It's just a cool classic album from the late '80s, from the crossover period. With
purely metal production, like this big bassy kind of maideny sound in a way. Yeah, or maybe more like actually it sounds a little bit more like Fistful of Metal than other Anthrax stuff does. It's a good record.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. All right.
All right, I'm going to jump in and just say I'm going super classic. I forgot how good this record was. I put it on the other day. Alice Cooper, $1 Billion Babies.
Babies.
There's no bad songs on that record. No bad songs.
They announced that the Summer Slaughter Tour is going to be playing the Barbecue pre-show on Friday, August 14th. I would check out the lineup, and I saw that Fear Factory was playing it. I've been a fan of them, and it made me think of, their classic, and some people say their best, 1995 release, Demanufacture.
I can't believe that's a classic already. It seems like just yesterday I bought that album.
You know what?
It's considered by many to be their best album.
Can I just ask, did you really just buy it yesterday?
No, I was going to say, okay. I actually did buy it when it first came out.
Yeah, but did you also just buy it yesterday?
No.
Okay, shoot.
No.
Yeah, cool, man. They just, they just got a new bass player, Buke, and I'm trying to remember, he's somebody from somewhere. He might have been the Type O guy or something. There was a story about it a little while back. I can't remember who it was. They got a new bass player, and he's a guy from another band. I can't remember.
Tony Campos from Static X. Prong, okay. Possessed, Soulfly.
Right on. I got another.
George, what your thoughts on Fear Factory? Quick, I know we're running short on time.
When Soul of a New Machine came out, and that I was like, wow, this is different. Combining like death metal, thrash, and a little bit of industrial. I was like, all right. And then when Demanufacture came out, I just lost my fucking mind. I was like, this is the greatest thing ever. And I was so hardcore Fear Factory for a few years after that. It was fanboy. I was really big into them. And then, after another couple albums, they sort of, people started leaving, and I just sort of lost track with the band. So, I still listen to the early albums once in a while. I should probably go back and check out some of the stuff they've done. I just haven't been following them.
Yeah. I think they still have a pretty viable career. I think they do well in Europe and stuff. I don't think those guys had day jobs. I read some reviews. I think they do pretty well. Hey, man, I got another stump to George I forgot to bring up.
Okay.
I've been meaning to do this one for several episodes. Feel free to jump in here, Buke. The guy who played for Primus, the guitar player, and you might already be where I'm going with this, came from a seminal Bay Area death metal band. Do you know who that is?
That'd be Larry Lalonde and Possessed.
There you go. All right. I think that was.
And do you know who produced their Eyes of Horror EP? I think it was the Eyes of Horror.
Is it Les Claypool?
No, it was Joe Satriani.
Oh wow, he must have hated that.
Yeah, he must have.
he was because I do know he gave lessons to Larry Lalonde.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you nailed it, dude. But that's cool because he's not proud of that history, by the way, which was one of the reasons I wanted to do it.
No. What about Blind Illusion? Which leads me to the next the new vinyl section.
Right on. What was it? Blind Illusion?
Yeah, Blind Illusion, the Sane Asylum. That album has both Les and Larry on it.
Oh, I don't know that record.
Yeah.
Is it metal?
Yeah, it's like thrash.
I think Les went to high school in the high school that's right across from the library where I work.
Okay.
I mean, not even I think, I know. A bunch of guys went to Berkeley, yeah.
Right on.
Yeah. You were saying, though, George, you were moving us in a good direction.
Yeah, I was talking about the new vinyl. That was one of the new vinyls that I got this past week. I also picked up Exodus, Shovel-Headed Kill Machine.
Shout out for that. Great record.
Skeleton Witches, Forever Abomination.
Have it.
Enablers, All Hail the Void.
Skeleton Witch, by the way, same artist who did our cover for Catatonic Society.
That's
Please
right.
continue.
And also Gravediggers, War Games, an oldie.
Wow, an oldie.
Yeah.
I'll go next just because my list is really short this week. I picked up via Metal Blade Records Primordials, Where Greater Men Have Fallen. Shout out to Buke. And I also picked up the collector's edition of The Satanist by Behemoth.
Nice.
And while this is not vinyl, I also picked up their book, which is really super cool.
I need to get that.
Yeah, it's called The Devil's Conquistadors. You know, I might have accidentally ordered two, George, and that's not a joke. I don't have to, but one of my orders didn't seem to get acknowledged, and if I have a second copy show up, I'll send it to you.
Cool, thanks.
Yeah, well, and I'll probably know by midweek next week, because I thought, screw it, I won't cancel it. I'll just keep it if it comes.
Cool.
Big, what'd you pick up this week, or in the last however often?
I picked up a couple here. I picked up Earthling, A Dark Path, Suffocation, the close of a chapter. It's their live album. Cataclysm, Prevail, which the album's awesome. I picked up Slayer, the Live Undead, not the picture disc that I've seen before. Decapitated, who's quickly becoming one of my favorite bands. Lamb of God, As the Palaces Burn, the picture disc. I picked up a 7-inch Opeth, Throat of Winter. And also I picked up this Iron Maiden, Somewhere Back in Time. The best of, their classic best ofs.
Yeah.
Four disc, huge, artwork on the inside. 4 disc, obviously this is a podcast, you can't see. 4 disc fucking picture disc.
Beautiful.
Gorgeous.
Dude, that's bitchin'.
Gorgeous. They were selling this for like $20.
Oh, nice.
Where'd you pick it up?
The Record Exchange downtown store. So I saw this, just jumped all over it.
Yeah, just give us a couple of highlights. What are some of the how faithful is it to a good set list?
Starts with Churchill's speech in the Aces High, 2 Minutes of Midnight.
Nice.
Trooper, Number of the Beast, Run the Hills, the Opera.
Is it a live record? Is that what you were saying, or is it a best of record?
It's a best of.
Best of. Okay. Do you have it, George?
It's a best of.
I don't, but I've seen it, so I know.
Well, let's all just pause for a minute. George just said I don't.
I don't tend to get the best ofs unless it's
Not me either. But that is a nice looking set, by the way. Though.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Just the set was just so cool,
Very cool.
For
Can't beat
$20,
that price
I just
either.
jumped on it. No.
Let me see since we can see it, nobody else can. Well, let me see fold it open too, and let me see what the gatefold looks like, Buke.
Yep.
Was that a Blaze era picture right there?
No,
Was it somewhere in time?
it was.
Okay. And then what are those there? Or is they like what kind of
The different album covers with all the lyrics of the songs.
It's lyrics. Okay, cool. Oh, nice, dude.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a nice looking.
Killer packaging.
Did you say it was 4 albums?
Yep, 4 picture discs.
Okay, cool.
Well,
All right,
2 picture discs on both sides.
I'd do it for 20.
Yeah. All right. Well, that pretty much wraps us up for this week.
Before we go, I'm going to stop you right there, George. Again, thank you. Truly. I know you're busy. We pulled this together. It worked well. So thank you, George.
Yeah, this was fun doing it this way.
And you know what? I love talking to you guys, man. You guys are the bomb.
We love talking to you too.
Yeah, so I'm glad you could do it today too, George.
Oh, thank you very much. Alrighty. So before we get out of here, check us out on Facebook. Check us out on Twitter. We're on Instagram, YouTube, Stitcher, and metalheadspodcast.com. You can find me on Twitter at @DiscipleOVMetal.
I'm at Opeth Fan.
And I'm at Catatonic J. And I also kind of want to say, just because he's got some money on the line for Buke, go Blackhawks.
Boo.
Yes! Go
I don't
Blackhawks, baby!
I don't care about either of them.
Yeah, but don't you care about your friend?
Fine. I will do this for you.
But put the amount of enthusiasm in it I did, though, George.
Go Blackhawks!
Not at all what I did.
Yeah. Yes.
All right. We're out of here. We'll see you next time. See ya.
Yeah.